What would you say during that Penn State time is the biggest lesson you learned?
Again, I think it always goes back to people, Adam. I think about if you were in my staff meeting this morning, like we're bringing in 60 kids over. Recruiting now takes place in June, which I'm sure you guys know. So like the official visits happen in June. So we have 60 kids coming in 4 weekends in June, and it's always about the people. Like who are we recruiting? Like, you know, do they love football? Do they understand the meaning of the degree, that the football doesn't last forever, that it's about the relationships and the degree and you know, giving back to others, which is a big thing here at BC, what we talk to a lot about with our guys. And so when I think back to Penn State, I always talk about the people that were associated, the players mainly, the coaching staff. Like I said earlier, I think that's the lesson. Like, don't make sure that when you take your time hiring, take your time in recruiting. Don't just offer the guy that's just, okay, he's on the ESPN 100 list. Like, that's really not what it's about. It's about meet the guy. Does he love football? Can he learn? Is he a quarterback that can learn what we're trying to do? Is he a tight end that understands, like, he's going to have to block a little bit too? He doesn't just go out for passes. You know what I mean? Like, that's what it was all about, and that's what we had there. We had a great. It was like a perfect storm. And again, I was 15-9 there. I wasn't 30-0. It wasn't like but we had a terrible thing happen there, but we had a perfect storm of people that, like I said, bridged it to what it is now, you know, which is back to being top 10 program.
I felt like you were always so good at just like getting the players to want to play for you, like to buy into what you were selling, like guys like Maui and you know what I mean? Like just it's a unique ability.
Yeah, and I mean for like me too, like
Real quick, guys, I have a free $100 deposit bonus for you from Prize Picks with my code AdamB or the link in my bio. Prize Picks is the best way to fire on sports because you pick players instead of teams. It's the most fun, and if you know how players are going to perform, you can make up to 10x your money. So go get that $100 bonus with my code AdamB or link in my bio.
I vividly remember every day being excited because of what you talked about, like the football growth and what mattered to me, and you did a great job of vetting that through the recruiting process. Like every single day I walked in there, the circumstances, which realistically speaking, should have played a larger factor in a lot of kids' decisions in that. Like I was so uniquely focused, and you did such a good job of blocking out all that noise for us, whether you knew it or not, that it was awesome. Like it was just like, it was a safe haven. You come in there like no matter what's going on, and you got to really focus on your craft, and that's something I'm always like eternally grateful for at that point in time in my career. That was like phenomenal.
I think like I remember back and just like learning about having never been a head coach, but understanding that it's important to be honest with the guys that you're coaching. It's important to develop a connection. You're not going to be able to connect with 120 guys, but you try to connect with every guy in some way, shape, or form, so that in the end, like when they go out to play, because it's a violent sport. It's not an easy sport. It's not like, you know, I'm not going to name other sports because I'll take a bunch of crap for it, but it's a tough sport. So like if they go out and they can play for each other, but they also know that the guy who they're playing for, coach, has their back, like that's important. And I think that was one of the things I learned there a lot, was just trying to connect with the team that I was coaching. And I learned a lot about that in 12, you know, before you guys came, and then 13. We actually, in 13, you know, we didn't have like this great record, but we had a winning record with a true freshman, a guy that was 17, 18 years old, playing quarterback.
Pointing the mic too. Doing the run.
Mike had very few Emmys.
That's what's
beat Michigan. In a game that Michigan was undefeated coming in. Beat Wisconsin on the road. We had some tough losses, but like, I remember it was like a 2-minute drill in training camp. Hack took the team like 90 yards in a 2-minute drill. That wasn't really staged or anything. It was just, remember we'd do two groups. We were in the stadium. And I went back to the staff and I'm like, that's the guy. I don't care how old he is. He's going to be the guy. Because I try to, in practice, as you guys remember, like, even though the crowd isn't there, you try to put you in some pressure situations, especially at that position, to see how a guy would react. It'll never be exactly like it is in a game, but at least, hey, I got to do this in front of my teammates. And that's what it was.
It wasn't like guaranteed to be your job when you got there either. Tyler Ferguson was playing well.
Tyler's a good player.
That's why that was part of the thing you told me. I was like, I'm just going to give you a chance. I say that all the time, but I got 2 points on that because that's what you talked about was it was batshit crazy. You gave me as much freedom on the line of scrimmage.
Some of his memories are, here we go. We're gonna get the real.
No, it was bad because I vividly remember.
Trusted you.
I know you did, but it's still you like 18. It's like that's how desperate we were at Penn State. I was like, all right, here you go, kid. Just fire away.
Do it.
Hey, if I'm wrong, make me right. Gotcha.
You would. I would say that all the time.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing.
If I screw this up.
And I remember after the Syracuse game, you go Hack.
Oh, God.
We were at CQ. I'm sitting there with Ty Howe the next week. We squeaked that one out. It was Hack. You're going to look back at this game. You're going to watch this tape in 5 weeks, and you're going to laugh your balls off. You were checking sword and lance into 0. You had no idea what was going on. Funny it did come to that. That was hilarious.